Hey guys, welcome back to the Tanel channel. My name is Tanel and today we're checking out Clancy's The Division. But not just checking out, this is my official review. It's my first English review, so pretty nervous, but let's try to do this. So Clancy's The Division, a game that a lot of you want to know everything about. I've been playing this game a lot lately. I've been ranking up 70 hours in game and reached level 50 on the Dark Zone. So I think I should have clear opinion how this game is. So yeah, let's jump into my video review from Clancy's The Division.
Put your people there. I see someone else got the call. I'm Agent Fei Lau, Division. Activated the same time as you, part of the second wave of us going in. I don't know what happened to the first wave, but unfortunately, there's still lots left for us to do.
Clancy's The Division is a game by Ubisoft Massive, a Swedish-based game company who in the past worked on games like Ground Control, an epic strategy game from 2000, and a bit later made games like Assassin's Creed Revelations and Far Cry 3, both of which were incredibly well made games. So, a flock of pretty wise guys. Work on The Division began in early 2013, if Wikipedia is to be believed, though I suspect they began making it a lot earlier. So after 3 or so years in development, the game is finally out. So how is it, you might ask? Well, The Division plays a lot like Bungie's Destiny, but The Division is not set on different planets but on Earth, and supposedly in the year 2018, after a smallpox epidemic on Black Friday gets out of control, which is killing people like flies. You, a member of The Division, will have to work together with a bunch of people to find a cure. The Division originally was set up by the US government to aid the Joint Task Force, aka the JTF, in restoring order. Though the plotline may sound interesting at first, I must admit that the storyline itself in the game is pretty bland and boring, though it is at least 100 times better than in Destiny. Shortly, but if you wanna get this game for its storyline, I guess you can pass, though this is not what makes The Division a special game at the moment anyway. The real gem on the ground here is the gameplay itself. The atmosphere, the entire game world is absolutely stunning. It's hard to find the words to describe how huge and beautiful at the same time this game really is. There is no other game that immerses you like this out there. Nope, not even GTA. The platform base for a great game is definitely here. So starting the game up, you are shown a small video introduction of events leading up to The Division. After that you are brought up to a character creation screen where you can create your agent. I was hoping a bit more variety in the creation process, but hey, it's not Sims at the end of the day. The game actually starts off from Brooklyn and you are taken to Manhattan shortly after. Sadly, you cannot visit Brooklyn later on, though I suspect that there might be some expansion packs coming that will take us off Manhattan later on this year. So as I said a bit earlier in the video, the main campaign storyline is almost like absent. It's really sad actually, because this is like a lost opportunity to make something even more special than it is right now. But then again, the gameplay itself makes up for the lack of story. If you love RPG type of games, then this will certainly get your attention. The amount of exploration and loot gathering is vast, and no place really feels the same at any time. I've been playing for around 70 hours plus and still find the game just jaw-dropping beautiful at times. So what do you do in The Division? Well, most of the time just kill NPCs and gather better loot. There are a ton of side missions and activities to do, and after reaching level 10, you can also venture into the PvP area called the Dark Zone, where you can roam around wherever you want and start killing high level enemies to get the best loot available in the game. The hunt for the most epic gear or weapon piece is on.
Alert. Friendly Division agent is down.
I have to say that reaching level 30 by just doing all the main missions and side missions without gathering the extra collectibles and checking every corner of the map felt really great. I constantly found myself just stopping from time to time to take in the incredible detail and atmosphere that the game offered. The weather, the day and night cycle is dynamic, which means it changes constantly. From a really nice clear and sunny day to a snowstorm so thick you can barely see your own hand, let alone the enemy. It made my playthrough so much enjoyable, and gosh, I still cannot believe what an incredible job these guys did on this game. Its size, the graphics, the gameplay are unheard of. I think the beast of the beasts, Crisis, can finally sleep, cause the new king is The Division. So let's talk a little bit about how the game actually plays. Most of the time you can call this game the running simulator or Forest Gump simulator. Anyway, you will be running a lot from place to place. Though it might seem kind of boring and frustrating, trust me, the New York that is built by Ubisoft Massive is interesting and beautiful everywhere you go, so you actually don't want to drive anywhere. Secondly, you can say that this game is a cover shooter. You do not want to play out of the cover when it comes to the most difficulty settings, like challenging or even hard mode at low levels. Covers are your friends. You can also fight with two main weapons and a handgun that no one seems to use, like ever. I think you can actually remove it from the game and nobody, absolutely nobody, wouldn't even notice it. Thirdly, you will be using your special skills on a daily basis. There are many different skills to use to make all kinds of different builds that actually work well alone and in group. Definitely the most widely used skills like pulse that marks enemies through walls and makes you do extra damage to them, and heal station that heals you and revives you when you fall are one of the best ones in the game. So after you reach level 30, the real game actually begins. I think this holds true for many RPG and MMO type of games. On 30 you unlock the challenging difficulty mode, which is an extremely difficult mode, especially if you want to solo them. You can do the challenging main missions until the end of time. Each playthrough will guarantee you a high-end item piece, which is yellow or orange. It's debatable. I think it's orange, but many of my friends say it's yellow. Anyway, high-end armor piece, which is the best quality loot in the game. At the time of the review at least. Pink set pieces are yet to come. Also, completing the challenging missions, you will earn a ton of Phoenix credits, which are special credits that you can gather to buy really powerful items or blueprints to craft. So yes, there is crafting in the game, and it works pretty well. You buy a blueprint from a vendor and then start crafting the things you need the most. Though gathering crafting materials might be the hardest thing of all. So I would go as far to say that never ever sell anything. Always dismantle items for crafting materials. So now that you have reached level 30, farmed missions on challenging mode, and got all your gear items to high-end level, hopefully with good stats like armor and critical hit damage and such, it is time to truly venture to the Dark Zone. Here is where the endgame should really be, although at the moment it is better to just farm missions and do your daily challenges outside of the Dark Zone. But still, if you're bored of those, then the Dark Zone is the place to be. So when reaching 30, you will find that there are actually 6 levels of difficulty in DZ. For reasons unknown, you do not get better loot for killing tougher enemies, which is kinda weird. There's no XP gain from tougher enemies, and there is no higher drop chance for high-end items. Well, there is. It's just like it's like 2% more XP and 2% better chance of finding the high-end stuff. Wow, so much wow. So right now there is no real point in trying to kill really tough named enemies in the Dark Zone if you kill them longer than a few seconds at least. Also, take into consideration that when you die, you will actually lose a ton of XP. There was a patch recently that toned down the XP loss, but I haven't managed to check it out yet. The XP loss that I had before was like 4,000 to 8,000 points XP lost, considering that each kill will yield you around 150 to 300 experience points. That is a lot of time to make up. And you do not want to lose your XP, because on level 50 Dark Zone you will get access to really great blueprints to craft the highest possible level gear in the game. So what really makes the Dark Zone fun and also the most hellish place on Manhattan is the bloody rogues. So as I said before, the Dark Zone is in its core a PvP area, meaning that you can kill anyone without warning. Let's say you can be in a group of 4, but if you hear a group member yelling, "Oh my fucking god, I got a high-end M1A, let's go extract now," and you just group it up with them, well, when venturing to the extraction zone and waiting for the helicopter to arrive to take this guy's high-level M1A away from you, let's say you can leave the group right then and there and just kill the entire group. Taking the high-end weapon and then straight away extracting it with the same helicopter that you previously called upon. And of course, don't forget to clap. Thank you for the M1A. It really makes for some incredibly exciting PvPing. So be aware that if you kill anyone, you will be marked as rogue and you can be seen through walls and on map to every other player in the Dark Zone. And they can hunt you down to get your loot and some minor rewards for killing you. All you must worry about is the small timer on your head, meaning how long you will be marked as rogue. If the timer runs out, you are again invisible and can feel a bit safe again. That doesn't mean that you are immortal now. People will see your name when you kill them, so they can start hunting you down by knowing your last position and name, of course. Although you can always choose to leave the game to get into another server. Whew, alright, I hope I didn't bore you with this long speech about the Dark Zone, but it is really fun place to be and also a miserable place to be if somebody just killed you and took all of your hard-earned loot. But so, what are my conclusions after 70 hours of gameplay? Let's start with the cons. The story. It's almost like it's not even there. They might as well left it out of the game entirely and we wouldn't have really noticed it. But hey, at least it's something. Also, the variety of different enemy types is way too small for a game this huge. I know it might be really tough to create enemies to a game which in some way wants to stay true to a real life in a way, but man, the game would be so much better if the virus would have some kind of extra mutation added to it to make some Last of Us stuff happening. Also, why not make exoskeleton enemies? The game should take place in near future after all. And the balancing of the entire game is a bit off at the moment. The rewards for killing tougher enemies is just sad to watch. It's almost like the first few months of Diablo 3 where you would get a legendary or set item drop and you were like, oh my fucking god, why? Why? What did I do to deserve this piece of crap? I wanted a rare yellow item. And the Dark Zone itself, because all of this feels a little bit dead at the moment. The drop rate for high-end gear is abysmally small, and the XP loss for that is just way too harsh. Also, the fact that after seeing a loot cave type of farming, the developers decided to remove named enemies once you have killed them outside of the Dark Zone to not spawn ever again. That's just stupid. Make the respawn timer do 5 to 10 minutes and it will totally break those kinds of loot exploits. Right now the players who love to play solo are almost like forced to play in a group. And although the game world is huge and insanely detailed, I still feel it's lacking of stuff to do, so more activities with patches or expansions and I think The Division will be a really great game. As I said before, the basis for a great game is here. So, coming to the positive things, I really cannot stress this enough. The game looks absolutely stunning. The amount of objects you can see at one time with no FPS loss, it's mind-boggling. The game runs well even on laptops with video cards like GTX 860M inside of them. The atmosphere is also something just special. The Dark Zone is a great addition to the game, although it might need tweaking still, but I guess it is all in plan for the first year's expansion packs. But overall I must say that the gameplay experience with all the atmosphere, loot gathering, PvP and so on makes it a great game in the end. It's not average as some may say, this game is a true gem in Ubisoft's portfolio, a masterpiece of a game in terms of a new IP. So, if you love beautiful games, open worlds, loot gathering, playing with friends and PvP, then this game is made for you. Almost guaranteed that you will get at least 8 hours of fun gameplay from The Division. So my final verdict for this game is a 9 out of 10. Would have maybe given an 8.5, but watching what they are promising for the entire year in terms of content and balancing, it's a great game to buy. Do it now! Anyway, thanks for watching my first ever English review, and if you loved it then feel free to subscribe. 2100 subscribers at the moment of writing. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon. Ciao for now.